Hello, and welcome to I'll Knit With You. My name is Rebecca. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as EvilTwin2. You can find show notes on the blog, illknitwithyou.blogspot.com. You can join the Ravelry group if you go to Ravelry and search I'll Knit With You, or you can email me illknitwithyou@gmail.com. Hi! I always am worried I'm going to mess that up, and I often do. There's usually 2 or 3 takes before I get it right. How are all my owls and my U's? I feel like it's been too long as usual, which is about right, but I have been crafting all of the things, and I've got this backed up, and I'll show you why here in a second. I've got some stuff you can kind of see around me, but we're getting there. First, we have 2 new fronds. We have Mommy Lamparth, who's Elizabeth from Massachusetts, and I met her at SSK, and L and J, who is L from the USA. I didn't say what state, so it's the USA. And I'm really bad about connecting people's real names with their Ravelry names. And so, like, if I've met you somewhere, I probably only recognize you by one or the other. Like, I usually can't do both. So, pretty good so far. I'm going to try to keep blather pretty short because I've got a lot of crafting stuff to talk about, which is always exciting. So, I actually recorded this whole thing before, and I was, like, really low energy, and I was like, I don't want to put this out there. But I'm actually going to have to use a clip of it because I want to show you something. But Rebecca, just podcast, we'll get there. So in the last time period, we've gotten our first donation to the podcast, which means we are doing a giveaway. Yay! And, oh shoot, that's like the one thing I don't have right next to me. So I will post the yarn in the thread for the giveaway. And what I want you to tell me is, what do you like about podcasts and giveaways? Do you like it when it's a 2 or 3 week thing? Do you like it when it's a long drawn out thing with points? Do you like a multi-month knit along? Like, I want to know what type of reward system through podcasts that you like, because I'm considering some for 2017 and I haven't really decided yet, because this year we're kind of doing like the stash down. 2016 is the year of the stash diet, and I totally failed, but I've also totally succeeded at the same time, which, that's fun. So I would like a more efficient method, so pitch me some ideas. Tell me what you like. Tell me what does not work for you. Tell me what you enjoy, and then I'll do a random number and give away some yarn. It is very fall colors. It's a Thanksgiving yarn, so I'm trying to make sure that we get that done in time. So the contest will end October 15th, and as soon as I can announce the winners, that yarn will get shipped out as soon as I hear from the winner. That way you can have it for the fall festivities and before Christmas. Mostly what I've been doing with all my spare time since the last 5 podcasts is selling a ton of magic cards, which sounds ridiculous, but I was KonMariing my house, which I've mentioned before. It's part of the life-changing magic of tidying up, where you kind of just get rid of a bunch of stuff that you don't use or need anymore. And sorry, I thought someone was trying to text me, my watch, whatever. I haven't been by my phone all day. I left it at home when I went to work, which was not good. So, anyway. So, I've been trying to get rid of stuff, but there's some stuff that you don't want to just donate because it's worth some money. So I went through and sold about, 500 magic cards individually on eBay, which is exhausting and all-consuming. And the best part is, out of the thousands and thousands and thousands of magic cards that I have, I didn't know which ones were worth money. So there's an app where you just scan each card individually, and it just tells you how much it's worth. So I scanned like 10,000 cards, you guys. I spent some of that money on yarn, and I spent some of that money on clothes, and I spent some of that money on paying off some, student loans. So, I don't know what I'm looking around the room for. Anyway, so that went really, really well, even if it was intense. It was an intense journey. I went to Chattanooga for Labor Day weekend, and we went there thinking that we'd do all these fun touristy things. Well, everyone else had to go to Chattanooga for Labor Day weekend, too. So, we saw a lot of beautiful stuff, but it wasn't really the stuff that you go to see at Chattanooga, like Ruby Falls and Lookout Point, I think is a big thing. And both of those were just packed. We went to Rock City, which is the weirdest little thing I've ever been to, but it was really interesting, and it was a beautiful view from there, and I had a really, really good time. It was a good time to spend the weekend with my family. We went with my brother and my sister-in-law, my mom and dad, and so it was nice to have our little family all together. I'm no longer an SOS for the Harry Potter House Cup. And if you want to learn more about the Harry Potter House Cup, this is the episode that's all in. Because I will be talking about it a lot more because I am way more involved now. SOS means I was a student on sabbatical. It means I was kind of taking a break from the whole thing. Like, I could participate, but I wasn't going to earn any points, which meant that I could craft at my leisure, which means I did Stash Dash, and I totally failed my Stash Dash goal. I hit about 8,000 and had about 4 days left and realized I probably wasn't going to make it to 15K, so I kind of just trashed my post and stopped keeping track because, yeah, I can't do 7K in 4 days, no matter how many items I lose. So, but it was a really fun challenge. I feel like I got a lot accomplished. But now that I'm not in SOS, I have proposed an owl, which is what's up here, which is why I've got this backed up a little bit. So this is a spinning owl, so I'm going to be spinning a bunch of yarn for it, and I've already started. I've already got some done, so I'm excited to show you all that. I've been trying to do more hand lettering, which calligraphy, hand lettering, you know, making my journal pretty without stickers, basically. And I really enjoyed how that's been going. And I also discovered crayligraphy, which is when you use Crayola markers to do calligraphy. Here's some examples of all of that. It's really interesting, and it's way harder because I feel like there's already a set type that people use. Like, everyone uses the same type of type. And I have not figured that out. But I'm on a journey. So if you have any good resource recommendations, let me know. I was hoping there'd be a Craftsy class on something. Not like crayligraphy specifically, but like just hand lettering in general, but there really isn't. My sister-in-law has some good books on it, so I may talk to her about it. I mentioned my Stash Dash kind of crashed at 8K. I'm still on my 2016 yarn diet, though. I have gotten 212 points, and I have gained 2.85 kilograms, or I have gained 6.3 pounds, which is not losing weight, but, you know, it's not so bad. So now, let's move on to Full of It. Okay, Full of It. Sorry. I have finished another blanket strip for my mega huge woven blanket of crazy huge warmth and stuff. It's not a very good name for it, but you know what I'm trying to say. And I ran out of my... Oh shoot, now I forgot which one it is. I think warp is the one that you put on there. Yeah, I think you warp your lip. Okay, so I've run out of my warp yarn. I'm out of that. So I need to go get more before I can continue to make amazing blanket strips. Now let's move on to blobbins. So I have finished... Sorry, I just knocked some stuff off. That was probably loud. I finished some yarns, which is exciting. So this is for my owl. This is an alpaca. It is 396 yards, 2-plied. It is immensely soft and amazing. And I just finished that really, really recently. But before that, I finished my second skein of, my Thai iced tea. So I already have one of these done. This is the massive amount of chroma that I bought on a Ralph Lauren D-stash. And it's oranges and like this tealy blue color that's really beautiful. And now I have a second one to go with it. I still have quite a bit of yarn left. And I think I want to do the next yarn as a 3-ply. But right now these are just both 2-plies. So that's pretty exciting. At SSK, I won a supported spindle. And I have finished my first yarn off of that. It is Unicorn Guts. It's pretty tiny. It's just half of the poonies that I got. Because by then the spindle was so weighted down and I'd have taken half of it off and spun up another half, and so I finished with this. It's about 150 yards, I want to say. I didn't write it down, so I need to remeasure this, unfortunately. But I don't know if you can see it very well from that far away, but it's really pretty, and it's got lots of purples and blues and pinks, kind of like a rainbow mixture, but this is mostly the blues and the pinks, or the blues and the purples all in there, so it's really pretty. The next thing I'm doing for my owl is this American Diner. Oh, it's really tiny. Here you go. It is 50% merino, 50% tencel, and here it is loose. So it's really, really slippery, and either wants to spin really thick with no breaks, or it's not very cooperative, in other words. But that was part of the struggle. That's part of why it was a challenge, and your OWL has to be a challenge. So beautiful, yet so rude. Next, we have Woes and Woes. And let me tell you guys, whoa, I have been kicking butt. So one of the things I'm going to show you from the unaired podcast, if you will, is this is where I was at just on Saturday of my octopus sweater. It was not very far. And since then, I have decided just to go to town on this because what I want to do is submit this for detention, which means I need to get this sucker done. I'd like to get done this month so that all the yardage that I've done this month will count. So this is the, oh, it looks so good from so far away. This is the front, and the body is done, and the left sleeve is done. I hope it's long enough. It doesn't look long enough now that I'm holding it up here, but it also probably sits more like that. So, and you can see the design really goes around and onto the sleeve, and then on the back, there's that. So gorgeous. Now, there's a tentacle that wraps around this sleeve, so I have to do that sleeve, and then it's done. But gorgeous so far. I'm really digging it. And I went to Hobby Lobby because I had a gift card, and oh, everything's about to fall. Sorry. I found one of these there. I didn't know they sold these in plastic. I've only ever seen the wooden ones. It's not as great as I thought it would be. Kind of like a Lazy Kate, or not Lazy Kate, Lazy Susan for your yarn. So we'll see how it goes. Mostly what happens is when I'm trying to pull the yarn forward, it wants to go up and it gets stuck on the peg. But still, I mean, it holds my yarn, it keeps it from rolling on the floor, so that's doing a pretty good job of that. I have a couple other woes. So a while back, I knit socks for 10. It's a pattern by Cece. She's the one who just did that great Coffee with Cece book. And this is my old sock for 10. I think I threw one of them away because I think it got a hole and I was KonMariing stuff, and I was like, why keep socks that don't fit? Throw them away. And I'm like, Rebecca, why didn't you just frog that, honestly? I can't find it anywhere, so I think I just have the one left. But this yarn, I don't know if I made these too small or what's going on, but this really hurts my feet when I walk on it. It feels like I'm walking on rocks. I'm sure you've made socks like that too. But I think the problem is that I make the foot big enough around, because there is some ribbing stuff that you do in this and some different stitch stuff that you go for. And so I want a good version. I want a wearable version of this sock. And so I have started, I'm going to knock this off and it's going to be so loud. I'm going to put this on the ground really quick. Sorry. I have started a new pair of socks for 10 out of Regia. Now, I've never knit with Regia before, but I've had some in my stash for, it seems like a little bit. So I'm not very far so far. I don't want to knock any stitches off here. Hold on. Oh, I'm about to, no. Okay, we're safe. You can kind of see what's going on here. There's like a blue, a green, blue, red, green, grayish kind of thing. This is, I wrote it down so I can read it to you. It's a Regia Viva Color in the 487. 487. Doesn't that just bring back memories of summers gone by? Not quite. But this is what the yarn looks like all caked up. And so I'm interested to see how these knit up because I've never knit. I've had Regia, but not knit with Regia. Oh no, I just dumped my bag of, I'll pull that later. But, so excited to see how that all turns out. So, let's see, I knocked off something, sorry. There's a lot of things to get through. I also sort of have this as a woe, but it's not as much woeful as you'd think. So, this is the Slouchy Starfighter hat. And I actually made a matching cowl in this spiral cowl. These are both Eat, Sleep, Knit, Knit-alongs. This yarn is from there. This is the, what is this? This is Shibi Knits, Baby Alpaca in the Brownstone colorway. I think these are both knit on US 4s, actually. I'm sorry, the cowl was a US 6 and the hat was a US 4. But I'm going to add a pom-pom to this because I didn't knit it big enough for the knit-along, and I would like to get points for making the hat. And then I'm also doing the Downseller Studios, what's it called? Pigskin Party, and I would like to be able to count this for a team thing. And so for that, it needs to be 2 colors. So I think I'm going to do a blue pom-pom, and then have this. And so, bada bing, it'll be perfect. And these are going to be for my grandma. Shh, don't tell her. And those are my woes and my woes. So now let's move on to FOs. And I have my least favorite FO that I maybe have ever made in my entire life. So for the longest time, I wanted to knit sleeves, which is the Martina Ben pattern. And I made it. And it doesn't fit me across my shoulders. Like, it bunches up, like I didn't make it wide enough, which is weird. I did knit it on a US 4 instead of a US 2 because I thought a US 2 would take 1,000 years. And I'm right, but also I may have needed more stitches, and then I maybe mess it up like a few times. I would list what yarn is in here, but it's so many different yarns. And honestly, this is kind of hideous. I was going to go through And next month, my fiber group is going to have a dye day. And so I'm just going to go dye over this with like a grayish color and like kind of mute everything down so it's like a gray rainbow. But I don't know that it fits me. I probably still do it, and then I probably will pass it on. I don't want to rip it out. I want this yarn out of my stash, and it's already all been, you know, put into Ravelry and everything. It just bunches up under my arms, and in these pictures you can really see how much it's bunching. But I'm really glad I made it. I'm glad I know, because, you know, knowing is better than not knowing. So that's okay. On a different note, I made the Spacious OMG heel socks after a few people at SSK recommended them to me, saying that if you have, sorry, there's sirens. I live near a police station, it happens. These are just plain vanilla socks with a, oh wait. These are just plain vanilla socks with a Spacious OMG heel. I really wanted to see how it fit, and I really, really, really like these. This yarn is the Premier Yarns in the Vegas Lights colorway, and this is, I did these both on a US 0. They fit great. They fit really great. This yarn is really elasticy. It's a really soft acrylic, but it is crazy stretchy. I made these my size, and then I put them on, and they were like 4 inches too long because it stretches so much when you put them on. And so that was a little frustrating, but we got them sized down, we got things fixed. You know, just had to do some creative knitting. And so I really like the way these turned out. I've done some tiny blanket squares, so I have 2 little Hexie Puffs. This is a Daisy Knits Hexie Puff, and this is the same thing as the hat and the callus, the Shibby Knits Baby Alpaca and the Brownstone colorway. Got it. This is Daisy Knits. We're all mad here, but I'm not sure the base anymore. I'm sure it's on my Ravelry page for that yarn. But Daisy Knits is one of the sponsors of the Pick-a-Skin Party and the Downseller Studio podcast knit along, and you get points for knitting with someone who's a sponsor. So I did 2 Hexie Puffs, and I also have a blanket square out of it that I've recently added. It's this one right here. My minor blanket squares, you know, blanket's coming along. It's getting there. It'll get there. And those are my defeated foes. I feel like I'm going really fast, but I think that's because I'm overcompensating, because last time I just talked so slow, and I was so unexcited about anything. It was awful. I don't know what my problem was. Knitting is fun. Podcasting is fun. So Saturday Rebecca's not always very exciting. I do have a mustache to show you. This yarn is weird, and I'm excited about how weird it is. This is Nerd Girl Yarns Winning. That's the base name, is Winning, in the Rad Storm colorway. This is 65% silk, 35% linen, 755 yards on 114 grams. And they say that when you're supposed to run it through the washer and dryer to relax linen and bloom the yarn, and Eat Sleep Knit says this might bloom up to a DK size. It is like a lace weight, super light fingering right now. I bought 3 skeins of it at about just under 800 yards, so it's more than the yardage. And I'm not sure what to make of it. I think I need to do a few swatches first and see how it actually like fluffs up, and run those to the washer, you know, 1, 2, and 3 times, something like that. But I really love this green. I know it's like Vomit Electric green screen wall green, but I really want like a top of something out of this. I don't know, or like an amazing scarf or something like that. This linen would make a really good like summer thing. So if you have any good suggestions for this really weird yarn, let me know. It's pretty new, so they don't have a lot of good projects for the yarn yet. So that is one thing I really want to try. I just gotta figure out the what now that I have the other what. You know what I'm trying to say, right? Anyway, so aside from like everything I just zoomed through, which is so much better than the trudging along process. I guess whether you're hyped up on coffee or if you're having a calm kind of day, I'll knit with you. Bye, guys.